Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game. So today is the time to take another tour through the video game trap house known as Super Sega FPGA, because again it seems like Alejandro has a new pattern. Basically, he goes missing for a week to 10 days and then pops up in the most random way possible. And now Super Sega FPGA even has its own theme song online, which I'll let you listen to in just a bit. But this story just keeps going. It's got twists, it's got turns, it's like a roller coaster mixed together with a pile of yarn that just has a ton of knots in it. And I don't think we'll ever be able to actually figure out exactly what's going on. But you guys love hearing about it. I love talking about it. We get to make some fun jokes. And now it's not the Salvador Dali of scams, it's the Sebastian Bach of scams, because we have a hair metal rock song for Super Sega today. And again, the entertainment factor with Alejandro and Super Sega is off the charts. Pretty much everything feels so much like a level of parody or farce that you think this is just some sort of social engineering experiment just to see how much people actually put up with. And it has been such a wild ride. We've had Dancing Alejandro, we've had Ian Lee talking to Alejandro saying that refunds were issued that have never been received, and I do keep in touch with now 6 pre-orders of the Super Sega console to see whether or not they've seen a penny back, and 6 out of 6 people have absolutely no refunds whatsoever. So at this point in time, we obviously know all of the money has gone into the wind and we have no idea where it has been. But we've gone from the introduction to the project to Alejandro basically saying that Sega was suing him, to money being missing, even Alejandro sick in the hospital turn, where he basically just sent this photo of himself clearly at home to Ian Lee, basically stating that his health had taken a turn for the worse. And again, this is just textbook, come up with every single reason you can think of to give yourself more time. But then after this statement that Alejandro was sick, he basically went missing. We haven't heard from him whatsoever, and in classic Super Sega style, he did pop back up, posting a video to the Super Sega FPGA YouTube channel, which I will link to below, and it now basically is just still photos of him in different motorcycles and fast supercars with a new theme song for Super Sega FPGA. I cannot make this stuff up. If I wrote this down, I wouldn't think of anything this funny. I'm only going to give you a brief sample of what it sounds like, but this is absolute gold. Well, there you have it. I'll let you listen to the rest of it on Super Sega's channel because it is someone's original music, and I am very sparingly using that on the channel because I do respect that copyright. But it seems like we know where the money's gone now. It's gone to a recording studio because Alejandro is going to be bigger than Kiss. And honestly, if I had to pick a face paint for him, I think he'd probably go as Starman at this point in time. Then the rest of the video just continues going through different photographs of Alejandro's life on television sets, in sports cars that are being used for taxis. I do not understand what this is supposed to relay. 133,000 euros are missing, and he puts up a video with a new theme song showing taxis and sports cars and just different photographs of himself. If this is supposed to instill confidence in the project, it does the exact wrong thing, and if it's just supposed to be signs of life, well, at least we know somebody is behind the channel. But it's absolutely still hilarious that he keeps posting all of these luxury cars and cost an epic fortune, while also trying to say that he's absolutely impoverished, broke, and cannot afford to continue the project because apparently Sega was suing him and had taken the money, then a lawyer had taken the money, then Sega wasn't suing him and gave permission to it. It's like Alejandro can't even keep the story straight himself, and it's like every little bit of info he releases is just kind of taking the temperature of the water out there to see whether or not he can pop back up, because I really do still think there's going to be a crowdfunding round for Super Sega if he thinks he can get away with it. If there's even another dollar floating out there that he thinks he can cast a net and cobble together for himself, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But again, this is just evolving into the most farcical thing you could possibly imagine. I know we love calling him the Ron Jeremy of FPGA gaming, just based upon his beard and overall vibes, and we've had a fun time with this, but at the same time, it is absolutely mind-bendingly weird just as to how this company, and I use company in the very biggest of air quotes, operates. Because how can you both be in poverty and uploading videos at the same time showing you in multiple $100,000 sports car? And again, this is something that has been going on since basically the beginning of the project. These video uploads that just have no contextual sense as far as an FPGA project is concerned. I don't care if he can drive sports cars, I don't care if he has a musician's background, none of it makes any sense whatsoever. It is just all the weirdness we keep getting. And as we go back to the video that they uploaded overnight, you'll see here again, at least we've got a Ferrari this time. He's not just a Lambo enthusiast, so definitely you can understand why he loves Sega. He's got that classic Ferrari, and you can see there that there is a taxi meter inside of it, so you understand full well he is the #1 man for the job of bringing a Dreamcast FPGA core to the market with Crazy Taxi playable because he has a background in taxis. All jokes aside, again, this is the level of weirdness that is going on. I do not understand why he keeps popping up. If the goal is just to get the money, take the bag, and run, then why do you just keep putting up footage online, especially footage that has no contextual sense as far as the project is concerned? And again, seeing those ropes of white paint just basically bricked across the back of that television, one of the funniest things, and that's where Video Game Trap House basically got coined when we just took a look around at what was actually going on this property. We may never know exactly the extent of it, but damn it, it's a fun time, and I know you've enjoyed watching each and every episode just as much, if not more so, than I've enjoyed making them, and it has just been a very odd occasion when these videos go up, because this makes even no sense. The photos aren't scaled for the overall video. I basically had to scale the largest one to fit the screen, and everything else just looked like this. And what does a photograph of what I assume is a baby Alejandro here have to do with FPGA gaming, or the fact that there's 133,000 euros missing? Was it all used, like I said, in recording studio time to become the next Beatles? I just don't know whatsoever. But there's this fascination with guitars, rock music, and fast cars that runs through the entirety of Super Sega FPGA, and this is something that is new for Alejandro, because I've mentioned it previously in different videos. This is not the first time he's come up with a air quotes project, taken in a lot of money, and then never delivered on anything. This is just the newest evolution of it, FPGA gaming for Dreamcast and other Sega consoles. And you see there's even a photo of him now. Apparently it's SXGA. Who knows, maybe that's the new name of the project, and we'll find out soon. And this is just a teaser. Honestly, you could take any sort of inference from this video you wanted, and you'd be both right and wrong at the same time. But it's interesting just how similar yet different this is to his previous attempts at taking money from people. In previous videos, we've talked about the Cinemartin Fran 8K camera that took in a little over $500,000 in euros, and the company went bankrupt, never delivered anything. And that was the project that he worked on previous to Super Sega, so it seems like that money ran out. And apparently he's still trying to sell that Lambo as well, but it hasn't sold as the recording of this video, so clearly he's not that desperate for money. But I did talk to people that were involved in trying to review the Fran 8K, and they said Alejandro's behavior was quite strange, and communicating with him was the same as trying to communicate with him today, but they weren't uploading all of these insane nonsense videos to their YouTube channels or other social media channels that are just basically have absolutely no context to the project. And honestly, if I had enough money, I'd go buy the Lambo just to have it for my collection, but I do not have Lamborghini money just for a joke. Alejandro's has such a weird storied past, and he wants you to know about it. He wants you to know he was on TV. He wants you to know that he's been in helicopters. He wants you to know that he's driven expensive sports cars and even owns them. And even that taxi company, you saw that little taxi fare meter on one of the Lamborghinis. That was something that he was working on a rideshare app as well that apparently also disappeared with a lot of people's money, but I don't have all of the evidence of that. I know some other channels are working on some deeper dives because I am not an investigative journalist whatsoever. I'm here to talk about video games and the Super Sega FPGA Ron Jeremy video game trap house of gold that is Super Sega in and of itself. All of these demos, all of these boards, all of these videos have amounted to a whole pile of absolutely nothing. This board does nothing. There is no Super Sega FPGA project, and you would think at this point in time that Alejandro would just take that money and disappear into the night with it and never be heard from again, because honestly, the level of money he's taken in, the fact that it is from individuals, odds are he would just completely get away with this if he just stopped posting socially on YouTube or other platforms. That is the thing. It seems to be more about the attention and the all eyes on me mentality than it does actually delivering a real product or just disappearing with the money for the fake product that you came up with in your own imagination. And that's the one thing that really becomes the hardest to parse when we talk about Super Sega FPGA. This strange fascination and need for Alejandro to be listened to be watched, and to basically just be observed, because all of the uploads, I'd say 80% of the content that Super Sega FPGA has even put on YouTube has absolutely nothing to do with an FPGA console or gaming or anything else. It all has to do with Alejandro the personality, and I would guess that is because he was on television for a long time and he is no longer on there, so he's lost the limelight, and it feels like he's trying to regain it with this Super Sega FPGA FPGA project, and at the same time, if he can cobble together 133,000 euros and deliver nothing, it seems to be a little bit of a win-win for him, because I don't think it's like Alejandro goes to an office Monday through Friday and has a regular job and water cooler talk. But honestly, holy shit, how hilarious would it be to actually work with Alejandro in a professional setting? Every single time we think this project and Alejandro are gone, they pop back up, and it seems like he's kiting out a little bit more information to take the temperature and see if people are still listening to him and willing to give him a platform. And as far as Ron Jeremy FPGA Super Sega video game Trap House video games are concerned, I always have a spot on the channel for it because you guys love it, and I like to make sure everyone knows if this goes up to another crowdfunding source, do not give it a penny. But this is what's currently going on with Super Sega FPGA, and you know full well the next time Alejandro pops up, there will be another video. But we are done. Go listen to that song because it is epic, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.